get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Welcome to another episode of Re-Rack. I am Nathan Brantley. This is Cory Clausing. We're back with an actual show to fill the void that we've been leaving. I hope you enjoyed our Strike Derby, all the comedy that was in that. We have some more shows that are going to be equally as comedic here coming up. Slightly more competitive, but equally as comedic. We're here today to talk about the Pwba Draft. And in regards to the PBA League, there are 2 additional teams that got added on to compensate for the women's tour being canceled this year due to COVID. So they held a draft of all women's teams to throw those 2 in the mix to keep the PBA League a little bit more spicy.
Get some women rep up in there.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. In previous years, there have been women in the league, but there's been about 1 per team. Well, not per team, but there's been 1 sporadically placed in the teams. The likes of Danielle Mckeown, Kelly Kulick have been in there before.
Of course, Liz.
Yeah. So now they're actually 2 of those 3 are on a team this year, but it's an all-women's team. I'm intrigued to see how they're going to make that whole bracket situation happen, but we're here to tell you what the teams are.
Oh, yeah.
The names of the teams are the Miami Waves and the Phoenix Fury, and the first selection was by the Phoenix Fury. They picked Shannon O'Keefe.
Good choice.
Correct. Player of the year. 2-time player of the year.
Oh, yeah.
The second was Danielle Mckeown, understandably because she's taken second in the player of the year race last year and pretty sure the year before. She's in there. She's in there.
She's like always in top 3.
Yes.
Boys.
So we'll go down the list. We'll start with the first selection with the Fury. We got Shannon O'Keefe, Liz Johnson, one of those returning members to the PBA League, as mentioned before, Jordan Richard, Stephanie Johnson, and Maria Jose Rodriguez rounds out the Phoenix Fury. And then on the other side, we have the Miami Waves with Danielle Mckeown, as we said, Dasha. Everybody loves Dasha. The defending Queen's champion, 300 on television. You should fear her. Clara Guerrero, Liz Culkin, and Missy Parkin. All right, so now to the nitty-gritty. Is there anybody that you feel may have been snubbed in these selections?
I feel like the trio from Weber, like Diana, Daria, and Verity could have possibly
squeaked
in there.
They
at least one of the 3.
Most definitely. Do you feel like the selections... I failed to put down what the captains' names were. Please do forgive me. But do you feel as if the captains selected it based on a resume, or do you feel like they played it kind of favorites? Do you feel like it's current success versus entire career success? What do you feel like they may have based their selection methods off of?
It looks kind of current for the most part. Current success anyway, or at least recent success. Then you have
fair.
the player of the year twice. You have the last rookie of the year, Jordan Richard. Of course,
Correct.
the GOAT.
Also correct.
Reigning queen.
Also correct.
Yeah, everyone's usually has won something within the last 2 years.
That's fair. Former Women's U.S. Open champion on here.
Yeah.
There's a couple selections on here where you could argue that you could argue for some others who were left off. They could sub them out. The likes of maybe Missy Parkin you can make an argument for her being there or not being there. Same with Maria Jose. Stephanie Johnson, she fits in the 2-year success range. Oh, yeah. I feel like the teams, I don't want to say this, but I feel like one team is stacked more than the other.
I feel like the Fury is a little on the heavy hitter
very,
side.
Very much so. But, we'll see, of course. Competitive, got a Baker format, which I have personally seen extremely good 5-person Baker teams fall to the likes of
very
potentially awful teams. Not saying the Waves are awful by any means, because it's a very strong team also. It just feels like on paper, the resume of the Fury is a bit heavier than that of the Waves.
But the chemistry of the Waves could be better than the Fury, which always usually
very much so. You could always rely on Missy to get you one. Liz Colgan, she's on a comeback. She had a lot of success early, then struggled with some injuries and some fit changes and stuff. She's resurging back. Dasha is Dasha. You're never going to tell me that Dasha is not going to strike when she gets one. Exactly. It doesn't matter if we haven't bowled in a while. She's still going to get it. Clara Guerrero looked very good on the...
Always brings that competitiveness.
Yeah, very good on the King of the Lanes. And then Danielle Mckeown, same thing, looked very good in...
I don't think I've ever seen her miss the pocket in the last 3 times I've seen her on TV.
Extremely good. Extremely good. So, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm a fan of the fact that the PBA decided to assimilate the tours together for something that wasn't just a mixed doubles type of tournament. I'm glad that they included them in the PBA league because they needed something to bowl. It's disrespectful if the men could just do the rest of their season and the women have nothing. So this little inclusion is awesome. I wish there were more tournaments that they could bowl. I wish they would have found a way to rearrange the schedule or put them on more. But it's also not like these women can't go to the tour stops because they just as easily can compete with the men. So good luck to all the women on this list.
I feel like both teams can take top half in the finishing.
Most definitely. I feel like if you want to make a dark horse selection, one of these two teams could make a final, if we're being honest. Because in my humble opinion, women are much better at hitting targets and cleaning up spares than men will ever be. You could mark me down saying that forever. So, where men get away with leaking one or trying to find shim to strike, these women are going to hit their targets. They're
going to hit the dime bounce.
Yeah, they're throw bots. So, and also bowling, when you're bowling against men are more likely to throw them to the right, watch them bank off the spot. So, of course, there's going to be a spot created down there. Whereas the women are going to keep them more in a straight line. So, is that going to interfere? Your ball's going to see it a little bit earlier if you're crossing all those boards, if you're bowling against the women. So, that might throw a wrench in the equation if you're versus an extremely high rev team.
The men could open up a spot to let that women's team
which they're going to get away with a little extra room, which is equally scary because if you give their ball a little time to flip over to always snap that 10 out, they're going to keep hitting the spot and striking a lot.
I want to see how they feed off the crowd, too, in Portland.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Well, a lot of these women, college bowling. They have college bowling to their experience. You have a collegiate coach right now.
Oh, yeah.
UMES, you got Wichita State. Ridiculous. I'm excited to see it. I'm going to make a hot take right now. One of these women's teams is going to throw a 300 on TV. Hot take. Mark it down. And if it happens, come back to this video and I'm going to talk about it if it happens. Best believe. But yeah, hot take. One of these two teams of women is going to throw a 300 on TV because of just that. You getting a spot to snap the 10 out a little bit. That's going to be the only thing that's going to keep them from doing that. Most definitely. One of them is going to do it. But enough of the PBA league situation because we're going to talk about the current stuff of the Pva Tour Finals.
Minus Jason Belmonte.
Correct. Also, September is when the PBA League is coming. They rescheduled it due to travel restrictions, COVID, all of that. I believe it is the 3rd week of September.
When it starts, yeah.
Yes, so stay tuned for that. But as I said, back to this. PBA Tour Finals, top 8 bowlers based on metrics, excluding all of the international players who may have been in that top 8. Belmo, it's just, of course, Belmo, yes. So your 8 this year were Anthony Simonson, Jacob Buttroff, Sean Rash, Norm Duke, Kyle Troop, Chris Prather, Bill O'Neill, and EJ Tackett. They were split into 2 groups, per the usual. Group 1 was Anthony Simonson, Jacob Buttroff, Sean Rash, and Norm Duke. That was the qualifying order, with Jacob Buttroff firing a 300 to be the 29th televised 300.
Sounds right.
Okay, all right.
With the reactive ball, too.
Correct. And then in your second group, you have Kyle Troop, Chris Prather, Bill O'Neill, and EJ Tackett, with Kyle Troop almost sniffing greatness in the realm of 299 out the gate, game 1. Butchers came game 4, which very impressive. But Kyle Troop out the gate putting up.
Kudos straight fast.
Yeah, kudos to you. But we'll go down the list, the match play, if you would. In Group 1, Sean Rash faced Norm Duke. Sean Rash ended up coming out with the victory. The format for the match play portion was in your first 2 matches, they were just one game, heads up.
Yeah. And
then in your finals for each group, you had a race to 2. And then if you split 1-1, then you went to an endless 10, well, not an endless 10th frame, but a 10th frame roll-off, and to determine the winner.
Could be endless as well.
Hey, true, if you guys keep striking, yes, or keep sparing for that, yeah.
That works too, yeah.
But as I said, Sean Rash defeated Norm Duke in the beginning match of Group 1's match play. Then Jacob Buttroff defeated Rash. We're just following the list of the seeding. And then Anthony Simonson defeated Jacob Buttroff 2-0. So that comes out with Anthony Simonson as your winner for the Group 1 of the Pva Tour Finals. Onward to Group 2. Bill O'Neill faces EJ Tackett and comes out with the win. Chris Prather is meeting Bill O'Neill next, where he takes him down. I feel so bad. I talked to Cory about this in our little pre-production. Chris Prather really likes to hurt Bill O'Neill's feelings on television.
He has his number on TV.
Was it the players that he took him down?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
That's what Chris lost every sensible look ever.
The next week after the TOC. Okay, so Bill
O'Neill. But if there's $100,000 on the line, then Bill O'Neill stands no chance.
If there's any type of money on the line, Chris Prather's going to win something. This is ridiculous. We'll talk about this again when we get to the King of the Land situation. Any type of money in any situation. I'm not afraid of anyone, but Chris Prather, for multiple commas.
Yeah.
It's really hard to beat him.
If he sees the commas, he's ready to go.
Like I said, we'll talk about this in the King of the Lands episode, but I have a take on that. Anyway, Chris Prather beat Bill O'Neill again to meet Kyle Troop in the finals, where Kyle Troop and Chris Prather split the matches 1-1, went to a roll-off, and Kyle Troop ended up taking it. So we got Anthony Simonson winning Group 1. Kyle Troop winning Group 2. The roommates for that week met each other in the finals, and it was split 1-1. They went to a roll-off, and Kyle Troop ended up coming out with the victory. Another take. Anthony Simonson is extremely good this year at taking second place.
Yes.
I don't know what. He is insanely talented, and whether it's a little bit of a hit, whatever could happen, it's not like he never has a look. He has the ability to hop on the other side of the lane. It kind of fries me because he's always taking second places when he has.
And he went on a tear during that qualifying.
Ridiculous.
What did he go? 264, and then
struck a lot
to take the top seed out of nowhere.
A lot. He saw Buttroff. Well, Buttroff tried to shoot 3, and I'm pretty sure he lapped him by over 50 pin. It was. Oh, yeah. Anthony Simonson's day is going to come, and he is going to take over the world of bowling. I'm really excited to watch it because if he keeps getting... Every time he loses, he comes back better. So if he keeps taking second, be fearful for Anthony Simonson because he's going to do ridiculous things out here on this tour, and he's going to win a lot.
And he's already Hall of Fame eligible, too.
At the age of 23? 24?
24, he's my age.
Oh, my good Lord. Yes, stay tuned for him because he's going to start getting his hits, and when he does, the tour is going to be something different. Belmo has it now. I do believe that Anthony Simonson is next up. You call that a hot take? I don't see it as a hot take because it's extremely apparent with what's happening right now. But yes,
on both sides of the lanes,
it's ridiculous. As if you watch the Tour Finals or the King of the Lanes, which, like I said, we'll cover in a different episode, Anthony Simonson is the most versatile player on tour.
Yeah.
And he's going to start tearing it up here soon. So beware. Like I said, I don't think it's a hot take, but you could call it one. It's going to be ridiculous. But for the moment, we will not take away for Kyle Troop's win. Congratulations to Kyle, friend of the show. Great people. Super excited that he's getting his wins. That's his third this year. which
Get
means
those W's.
Player of the Year eligibility is on the horizon. I feel like I'm mixed about this year's Player of the Year situation because Belmo is being Belmo again.
Yeah.
But because he can't come over, all of these people have the opportunity to rack up these wins to hop into a Player of the Year space. If you count I don't believe the Strike Derby stuff would count as a title per se.
Yeah.
But you got Prather with 2 wins this year.
1 major.
Yeah, one of those being a major. You have Chris with 3 wins. Pretty sure if you go back to Chris has 3 shows. Well, 3 top 5s. Maybe 4. I might be forgetting one.
Chirp's been in the top 5 4 or 5 times.
Belmo's just Belmo. I know we've talked about this before, but to understand that Belmo still has you thinking he's leading the Player of the Year situation without even touching the United States for months means what he did in the time on tour that before COVID, absolutely insane.
He's running over.
Yeah.
Now he broke the record for majors last year, and he's still adding on to it this
Still
year.
racking them up. He finally got his U.S. Open.
What is that? That's not the Triple Crown. It's the...
We talked about
It's
it
a
in the
Super
previous.
Slam.
Yeah, we talked
Super
about it in the
Slam.
previous episode.
It was eluding me for a second.
Even if you bring in Sean Rash has had a ridiculous year also.
Yeah.
With changing brands at that. Just, I guess I'll admit it. I said from the jump that we might have to wait to see what Sean Rash does. That wasn't a knock. That was me simply saying that ball motions are different. And Sean Rash just came out and struck a lot with 900 Global in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
So he's having a ridiculous year too. I'm a fan of this Player of the Year race, and I don't know how they'll measure it, especially with Belmo not being around.
It will be intriguing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that, but it's an exciting race for everyone who is still stateside to rack these wins up, and for Belmo to still be in the conversation after not being here for 4 or 5 months. Ridiculous. Ridiculous to say the least. As I said in the beginning of the episode, we have some new stuff on the way. I'm excited for it. We wanted to take the channel in a direction where we're not just going to sit here and talk to you all the time. We're actually going to be more interactive in things that are happening. That way, you could see us throw gutters, but then you could also see us throw strikes. So we could try to make our opinions valid, because if we're just terrible at bowling, then us talking about bowling and trying to say that people are or are not good at bowling doesn't really hold any weight. So we're trying to take the channel in that direction to keep some new exciting things going, but also keep reporting stuff to you when we can. In the world of COVID, events are few and far between to report on, but we're trying. We are trying.
As much as the bowling world will open us up to.
Exactly, because we are blessed enough here to have bowling alleys open to be able to travel and do stuff, but there's still people in the country who do not have the ability to go to the bowling alley. There's people who just within the month of July just had the opportunity to go to the bowling alley. So, as we said way before, even when we weren't allowed to, please support your local bowling centers, because without them, there is no bowling, and a world without bowling is a world that I don't want to live in. So
Golf is fun, but I can't just do golf all the time.
yeah, no, because it could get hot.
Yeah.
You could,
Or it can get cold.
you could tweak your back even more playing golf, depending. It could be really cold. It's windy. You know, there's a lot more variables.
It's easier to find my ball at the bowling alley than it is in the golf course.
Exactly, because if I leak one, that ball could go wherever on the course.
Yes.
But if I leak one in bowling, I could just know that the gutter's right there to save it.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything else? You got anything you want to say about the Tour Finals, the draft, anything?
I'm like upset. I'm just excited for stuff to slowly get back to.
I am too. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with it, but there's a lot more events going on. I know this past weekend there was an event in Texas where Buttriff ended up winning, I believe, averaging $1 billion. If you please do yourself a favor, go look it up. It was a ridiculous showing where to get in top 10, you had to average a lot. So there's a lot of tournaments going on. In our area, if you do some Googles I'm sure you can find the results to this. I'm sure there's live streams of these things in a lot of places.
There's a regional going on this weekend
Yeah,
in Oklahoma.
there's 3 different events happening in Oklahoma on Sunday. I'm going to try to make it to one of them. But, there's multitudes of things going on in the Midwest. Blessings up, like I said. We're fortunate enough to be able to have bowling around here. So we are taking advantage of what we can. If you don't have bowling, I hope that you get it soon. I hope that we can provide a little bit of entertainment in the realm of bowling, report on bowling, keep you in the loop of things that you are tragically not able to do. But for now, I'm Nathan Brantley. This is Cory Clausing. This was Re-Rack. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, tell your mom, all of the good stuff. Please support the page. And stay tuned for the stuff we have coming up because it's going to be exciting. But until next time, take care, everybody.